I believe there are three bits of information that are the foundation of getting things to a place of harmony with horses, where I understand her, she feels understood, and she understands me. We have to have an understanding of what to do when we get to the arena to develop that. We need to know how to develop those things, and then we need to know why we're developing those things. So, what, how, and why. There are lots and lots of programs out there that give us a really solid foundation in the what and the how. But what's important to understand is that if you understand why you're doing what you're doing, you can create your own what and how at some point, right? It's not necessary. If you want to reserve your brain energy for just getting to the how, by all means, study a program that has decades of experience on teaching horse lovers the what and the how. All right. You throw a rock and you're going to find a program, a home study program, a Patreon, a YouTube channel, right? That's going to give you that information. So by all means, reserve your brain energy for trying to understand why we're doing what we're doing. So here's the foundational ingredients to my why that you can learn more about in the How to Talk Horse program by Linda Pirelli. Okay. The four main ingredients to everything we get to up to here in the arena is I want us to have connection. I want us to be relaxed. I want to be subtle in the way that I communicate with her, and I want her to be responsive to that subtleness. And I want us to be confident. So connection, relaxation, responsiveness, and confidence are the ingredients that I'm looking for. Now, there's all kinds of um, um, tasks and patterns and strategies I can use to both check those things and develop them if they're not here, not, present between the two of us. So what I'm going to do right now is just play with her in an effort to get her ready to ride. And as I'm doing that, I'm choosing the what's based on, which one of those ingredients am I checking on or trying to develop. So the first thing I want to check on is confidence. And the reason I'm choosing that with Vannah today is because out of those, four ingredients, that's often the one that can be a little bit hit or miss. Now, here's something you might not understand though, is that when Vannah is unconfident, she looks dominant. It's important to recognize that dominance, right? Pinning her ears, baring her teeth, wringing her tail, hopping around a little bit, pushing into her problem is a response to stress. It is a stress activation response. A horse who is happy, who's content, who enjoys the interaction that they're having with their human doesn't display those kind of behaviors, right? It's a way of her communicating to me that she doesn't understand. She's irritated. She feels defensive for some reason. It's often a sign of confusion. But confidence is a big deal. So what I'm going to do first is just check her confidence. The way I'm going to do that is I'm going to play a little game that we call stay over there. So I'm going to use my finger and point in that direction and ask her to follow the rail. So far, it was responsive, right? I did very little to ask her to head to the rail. She understood what I meant and was happy to do it. So when I play stay over there, and I try my best to stay behind her shoulder here so that she has to go first, the way that she would if I was riding. The reason I do that is it's a better reflection as to how much confidence she does or does not have. So again, we get over here and something over there grabs her attention. I want to see that's a girl. How little can I do to bring her attention back to me? She gave it to me without me having to ask. But here's what I do. I just lift my stick and you see how the inside ear comes back to me? That's all I'm doing is you can look, but don't fixate. That a girl. That a girl. So all of these things to me are ways for me to decide whether or not I would enjoy having a ride with her today. So stay over there is working nicely. She has moments where things grab her attention. She's aware of her environment, but it's not hard to bring her focus back to me. That's what I want. I never want her in a spot where she doesn't pay attention to her environment. We're partners in this, um, in this activity together. I can't be responsible for everything that may or may not happen in our environment. My favorite thing to do with any of my horses is to go trail riding, and I can't sense things the way that she does. She has a better sense of hearing than I do. She has a better sense of smell than I do. My eyesight can focus better than hers, but she has a better range of eyesight, right? That she can see nearly 360 degrees, all the way around her, except for, a blind spot just in front and a blind spot just behind. Okay. So I need her to be self-confident, and in order for that to happen, she needs to pay attention to what's going on around her, not just tune out and disassociate from her environment. Right. So the next thing I want to see is what happens if I ask her to put a little effort into something, right? Can she maintain the relaxation and the confident feeling? She's about to blow out. Good girl. And so to me, that's an indication that she's taken a nice deep breath, right? And just like humans, when she takes a nice deep breath, that's a pretty good sign that she's relaxed and confident. Okay. So I want her to know that I appreciate that. And I let her know I appreciate that by offering her a little moment of rest. You can use rest to mark desired behavior. So now do the same thing going the other direction, right? If I ask you to trot, how is your connection, relaxation, and responsiveness? She's going to blow out again. Good girl. I bridge that behavior with a sound. That sound is good girl. And I reinforce good girl with a primary reinforcer, which is rest. Okay, so all of these things are indications that we're having a good day, right? That the ingredients are there for, a pleasurable ride, that we can have an interaction where we both stay in a learning frame of mind and, could maybe achieve some of our horsemanship goals, my horsemanship goals, right? And her goals to like have peace, love, and joy in her life, right? Not have her biped be a source of constant irritation, right? So now I want to see what happens if I let her circle around me on her own, right? Like before, I was turning with her so that I could observe her posture and her emotions via her posture. Now I want to see, can she do it herself? She might break gait here and there, and yeah, I don't mind that too much. Oftentimes, it's because she's trying to recalibrate her balance. She's thinking about blowing out again, so I don't want to be too quick to insist that she maintain the trot. I want that eventually, but I also understand why she broke gait there. She's thinking about blowing out again. Super. Okay. I don't need to reinforce that every single time she does it. Other time, if I did, she would do it all the time, right? We'd never get anything done. So the trot looks good. Now I'm going to transition to the canter. Okay, so a little bit of defiance, right? That means there's a stress activation. The reason that happened was because I didn't set her body up very well to pick up the left lead. It was counter bent. She couldn't maintain her balance, so she had to tell me like that didn't feel great. Balancing herself in the canter has been something, as online. She can do it herself out in the field, right? But online with me, because I asked her to, has been a challenge for us. Can you see how her head is up, her back is dropped? There we go. And she's looking to the outside. So if I could get her looking at me like I just did there we go. Get her to lower her neck a little bit. That's it. So now we have connection, relaxation, responsiveness in the canter. I love it. Right? That feels good to me. Because we have a long-term relationship, Good girl. That's a touchstone for her. Um, because we have a long-term relationship, we know each other well. I feel confident that she's ready to ride, right? I've moved her body enough that her muscles got blood flow to them. We went from sleepy to awake and ready to do stuff. She's asking me questions. I can hit the gas a little bit on the engine and the engine doesn't get stuck revved up, right? She can tell me what she needs and I can hear her and try to provide for those things to the best of my limited human capabilities. So I hope that was a good visual for you on understanding the value of knowing your what, your how, and your why.